The newspapers say that. He's famous, so now people treat you like you're famous. They start saying weird things to you. Strangest things people would say to me. Trevor, well done on everything, eh? Congrats. But, even though you're going to America, don't forget us, all right? Don't you forget us. I don't even know who you are. People would say the weirdest things to me. You know what the number one thing people have said to me? Number one thing? It's not good luck. It's, hey, Trevor, good luck over there. But whatever you do, don't forget your accent, all right? Yeah, please, don't pull a Charlize on us, okay? You keep your accent, man. Make us proud. Everyone said that.
Trevor, brah. Hey, Trevor Noah. Hey, Masakan. Hey, man, you're making us proud, no? Yeah, man, you're doing big things for us, but brother, can I ask you a favor, no? Don't lose your accent, no? Don't lose your accent. Yeah, when you come back from the States, you mustn't come back talking funny, okay? Please, brother. If you lose your accent, don't come back.
You just threaten me? What does that mean, if you lose your accent? How do you lose your accent? People make it sound like you're going to be walking down the street and then just out of the blue, you'll be like, my accent! I lost my accent! What the hell is my... Well, hello? No, that's not my accent! That's my accent! How are you going to lose your accent? I was stressed now. Because I don't want South Africans to think I'm not South African. I don't want them to think I've forgotten something. This is my home. Now I'm stressed coming home. I'm in the plane flying back to Johannesburg, and the whole time I'm just thinking, don't lose your accent, Trevor. Don't lose your accent. Don't lose your accent. Don't accent. Is that how I say accent? Accent. By the time I landed at OR Tambo, I was losing my mind. I walked in arrivals, the woman was there at customs. Welcome back to South Africa, sir. I was like, yes, I'm back. Same old Trevor. Nothing changed. Going crazy. Because I love accents. I really do. I love accents. I like learning languages, and so obviously accents are a byproduct of that. I've learned over time that even if you can't learn a language, an accent is a great way to communicate with somebody in your own language whilst trying to bridge the gap. You learn somebody's accent, you communicate more effectively. The thing is, though, you have to learn the accent in the right way. If you're going to speak to someone in their accent and you do it in the wrong way, you might come across as racist. You've got to be very careful about this. White people in South Africa often fall into this trap. Yeah. It happens at petrol stations quite a bit. See people driving in with their friends, talking normally, sitting in the car. So I mean, if we get all the numbers together, marketing should be behind this. It should be a breezer. HR's stepped up, and it's going to be a great year. And look, we try and make sure that. Sorry, hold on. Hello, Baba. Hey, sharp man. Please put Lapo full tanky, eh? 95 unleaded, yeah. Also check our tires, eh? Pressure, pumpy, not too much, eh? 2.2, okay. Yeah, good jobby. Yeah, sharp. Donkey boss. Don't do that. He's a grown man. He's been pouring petrol his entire life. He knows what you need. Just talk to him like a normal human being. That's the thing people don't understand. Speak to him like a normal human being. I used to get so angry. Whenever I'd see white people changing their accent when they talk to black people, I get so angry. I was like, are all white people racist? Is that what it is? You're all racist? And then I learned. Life taught me not to be so quick to judge. Yeah, I learned a valuable lesson. I was driving to Gold Reef City one day, into the backstage area, and the security guard came out to the boom, and he was like, hey, how are you, sir? Is your name on the list? I said, yes, how are you, Baba? My name is Trevor. He's like, okay, Chabal. I said, no, Trevor. He's like, oh, sorry, Chabal. I said, no, Trevor. Shalva. And now my friend who was irritated, he just leans over me and he's like, hey, Papa, get Trevor. He's like, oh, Trevor. Why you don't talk properly? And then I understood. I finally understood what white people have been trying to do. I see, you're trying to communicate more effectively. You're trying to engage somebody. But understand this. When speaking to somebody in an accent, the number one rule to understand is an accent is not a measurement of intelligence, right? An accent is just somebody speaking your language with the rules of theirs. That's all an accent is. So don't speak down to them. Don't patronize them. Speak to them the way you would to yourself. Just try and learn their accent. That's all it is. It's just another accent. Yeah. And I learn them. I spend all my time learning accents. I try. I love it. I learn in restaurants. That's a safe place to start. You know, you learn, you read off the menu, you try and pronounce the words correctly. I was inspired by French restaurants, funny enough. Yeah, whenever I'd go to a French restaurant, I was always fascinated by the fact that people would order food in a French accent. I never understood why. Because they don't do it in any other restaurants. Only in French restaurants do people walk in and then change their accent when they order. They come in talking normally.
Yeah, you know, it's a wonderful thing. You're really going to enjoy it. It's so beautiful. Yeah, stunning. You have to have, oh, the dessert. Oh, good evening. How are you, sir? Yes, I will have a bottle of water for the table, please. And let's start off with, could we get the Sauvignon Blanc, please? Yes, and you know, we definitely from Maine's going to have the filet mignon. And for dessert, we're going to go with the crème brûlée. Thank you very much. Thank you. Oh, you're going to love it.
Like, why are you doing that? I never understood. I was like, why? Because it's not like the French are going to return the favor. There's no French people sitting in our restaurants in South Africa looking at the menu like, so for the table, we can order some starter portion. We share something? No? Okay. Could we please have one serving of the boerewors?
Schadenfreude, German word, Schadenfreude, right? It means to take great joy in the pain and suffering of others. Fun fact, that word was never translated into another language. I wonder why. My story happened in Edinburgh, Scotland. What I do whenever I'm traveling is, if I get to be in the same place as my friends, we try and spend as much time together. And what we'll do is we'll order like food or we'll go out. And when we do that, we allow one person to designate the meal. And so whenever my day comes around, consistently, I pick Indian food, right? Yeah, I think it's the best cuisine in the world. Nothing comes close. You don't agree with me? Let's meet in the parking lot, we can fight. I love Indian food. Loved it my whole life. And so we're in Edinburgh, I'm with my friends, they're like, where are we going? Trevor, what do you say? I'm like, Indian food. They're like, every time Indian? I was like, yes, every time Indian food. I'm like, oh, it's the same. I'm like, then why do you keep asking me? If you know, you know. Stop asking me. And I searched for where we were gonna go, because I always try and find the most authentic Indian restaurant I can find. Like authentic Indian restaurants. Do you know what I mean? So what I'll do is I'll go to a place, and then I'll ask around. I'll ask people. I'll be like, where do you go? And then like, where the white people tell me, I don't go there. Now, the reason it had to be so authentic, just so you understand a little bit of me. I grew up in South Africa, as you know, right? Now, what a lot of people may not know is that South Africa has one of the largest Indian populations outside of India. And so I was lucky enough to grow up surrounded by Indian culture. Right? In fact, one of my best friends growing up was a little Indian boy by the name of Thiessen Pillay. Thiessen would get a packed lunch from his mom every single day. Every single day, the meal was curry. I know this because every day, we'd sit down together. Thiessen would open his little lunchbox. He'd open the bread, look inside, and then he'd scream at the top of his lungs. He'd be like, curry! Damn it, mommy! I was like, oh, but Thiessen, is it bad? He said, I don't even know anymore. I lost perspectives. Here, you can have it. And he gave me his curry sandwich. I bit it. And Toronto, there are moments in your life that will forever shape who you are. Moments that will define who you grow on to be. This was one of those moments for me. I put that sandwich in my mouth. I bit down and my mouth came alive. My tongue discovered its purpose. I didn't know potatoes could pop like that. The flavors were bouncing around. My eyes opened wide. It was, I was like, wow, I was like, curry! Thank you, mommy. It was perfect. And since then, I've loved curry. So, fast forward many decades, we're in Edinburgh, Scotland. Going out with my friends. We're choosing a spot. I choose Indian, authentic Indian. We get to the place, and it's legit. Like, it is legit. We walk in, and there's Indian music playing. There are Indian people eating, Indian cooks in the back, Indian waiters, Indian guards on the wall. I'm like, this is it. I'm home. We walked in, we sat down. And as soon as we sat, one of my friends, Steve, launches for the menu. And I was like, Steve, it's cool, man. I'll just order for everyone at the table. And he's like, oh, that's fine, Trevor. I'll order for myself, thank you. I was like, no, it's not about that, Steve. I just prefer to order for all of us, yeah? Right? You good? He's like, I don't know why that's necessary. I think I'll just order for myself. Is that okay? I was like, it's not. No, it's not okay, Steve. It's not okay, right? Because you're probably going to say some shit that's going to embarrass me in front of my Indian people, right? And so I just need you to back off for a moment. He's like, I'm sorry, what would I say that could embarrass you in front of Indian people? I was like, I don't know, Steve, and I don't want it to happen. Just let me handle this, okay? He's like, let you handle this? Trevor, I'll have you know that I've eaten curry for many, many years. I was like, Steve, this is not the time. Just let's not argue, okay? Let's not argue. It's not the time to argue. He's like, what do you mean? Why would I embarrass you? Why? I was like, there's no why. You don't need to know why. Let's just not do. He's like, no, why? Why? Because I'm white. I was like, you brought it up, not me, all right? I wasn't going to bring up race, but you did, Steve. And now that you brought it up, let's talk about it. Every time I take my white friends to an ethnic restaurant, they always say some shit that embarrasses me. Every single time. Every time. Either they don't know how to pronounce the food, or they'll say some random shit. They'll be like, can I get that one, the papadums? What do you call these ones? You know, they'll be like, can I get this one, but not spicy? Kill yourself! Can I get the curry, but not spicy? Kill yourself! How are you gonna ask for curry, but not spicy? Your forefathers went around the world killing people for the spice. Now you don't want it? Shut up and eat the spice, Steve. And he's there, and he's like, Trevor, okay, I really don't understand where this is coming from, all right? I'm not gonna embarrass you. I understand curry. I was like, Steve, let's just leave it at that. I got you, okay? I got you, all right? I understand this way more than you. He's like, Trevor, I'm sorry. You're not more Indian than me. I was like, I'm sorry, what? He's like, yeah, you are not more Indian than me. I was like, what the hell is that? Exactly. Don't tell me I'm not more Indian than you. You shut up when the waiter comes in. You shut up. He's like, I'm not gonna shut. I was like, you shut up. He's like, okay, fine, order then. And the waiter walks over. This beautiful Indian man. He's got his beautiful Indian garb, and he steps up. And I know Steve. I can see him questioning my authority out of the corner of my eye. I wanted to show him that these were my people. And as the waiter got there, I didn't even let him speak. I just jumped up and I was like, good evening. I'm going to be ordering for the entire table, please. Could we please have 3 garlic raw naans? We're going to have 3 rumali rotis. Give us 1 shahi paneer, 1 palak paneer. You know what? We're going to have a Rogan Josh lamb, of course. Could we also please have 1 butter chicken for my Caucasian friends? And then we're going to have 3 samosas and 3 mango lassis to wash it all down. Thank you very much. I crushed it. I could feel it. Everyone could feel it. They could feel something. Because the table went dead. The waiter just stared at me. At first I thought he was impressed. Then I realized he was confused. And this Indian man leans in, looks me dead in the eye, and he's like, sorry, sir, could you repeat what you said? I can't hear what you were saying, right? You got a bit of an accent. And I was like, oh shit! He's Scottish! I mean, I know he's Scottish. I mean, we're in Scotland. He's Scottish, but it's like he's Indian. I didn't expect that, right? Because the whole place is Indian. It's an Indian restaurant. The people eating were Indian. There's Indian gods on the wall. The guy was Indian. His beard was Indian, but his mouth was Shrek. I didn't expect that. And now he didn't understand me because I Trudeau'd too much. I didn't need to try so hard. But then I realized I also couldn't stop. Because that would be racist. So now, I've got the Scottish Indian man looking at me. Everyone's quiet and he's like, if you don't mind, laddie, could you order again a little slower this time, right? I didn't hear what you said. You want me to place the entire order again? If you don't mind, I'm ready whenever you are. You know, I think everybody can order for themselves at the table. I don't think it's necessary for me to hold their hands. Everybody can order individually, and we can go from there, okay? We can go from there. And Steve was like, oh, I wish I could, but I'm so afraid I might offend someone. I think my friend here should order for us. Please, Trevor, go ahead. Go ahead. You're far more cultured than I am. I said, no, Steve, please, you can try your hand. I'm sure you know exactly what you want. He's like, no, but what if I say something embarrassing? The last thing I'd want to do is offend another person's culture, Trevor. I said, no, you can't offend anybody. There are no mistakes here, okay? We are all friends, okay? If anybody make a mistake, we forget about it. In fact, whatever happens today, we're all going to forget about it, okay? Just order. He's like, no, I wish I could. I really wish I could. But Trevor, please go. I said, no, you just order, Steve. He's like, oh, please, Trevor. I was like, order, bastard! Just order! The waiter was like, hey, there's no need to fight amongst yourselves. Look, clearly your friend's a little uncomfortable. Right, just order for him. He's like, yes, he's totally uncomfortable. Okay, could we please have 3 Romali rotis and 3 garlic naan, 1 shahi paneer, 1 palak paneer, and could we also get a lamb rogan josh, and we're also going to be having 1 butter chicken for your Caucasian friends. For anybody. Anybody can enjoy different types of curry. They don't all have to be spicy. It doesn't matter as long as you participate. There is no wrong way. Oh, you're so understanding, Trevor. Yes, I am. Could we also please get What, you gonna answer that? No, they can call me back later. He's like, it's getting awkward. Just answer your phone. I'll wait. Okay. Hello? Yes, this is Trevor speaking. How can I help you? Yes, no, the one and the same. Can you get to the point? I can't talk right now. Can you tell me what you need? I can't speak for too long. Can you? No. There is nothing wrong with my voice. Can you just get? No, everything is fine. No, I have not been kidnapped. No. I have not been kidnapped. Everything is fine. This is not a secret message. Just can you tell me what you need? No, we can talk later then. Yeah, my voice is like this sometimes. Don't worry about that. Just wait. No, and I think I know my voice. I think I know my voice also. Yeah, well, I've been me my whole life, okay? I've been me. Okay, fine. We'll talk later. Okay. Love you too, mommy. Bye-bye. It's the most awkward meal I've ever had in my life. I barely ate a thing. I sat there thinking about my life. We finally get up to leave. Steve is beaming from ear to ear. They walk out ahead of me, and as I'm leaving the restaurant, the waiter waves us off. He's like, good night, everybody. He's like, have a great night. And we wave at him, and he's like, hey, excuse me, before you go, hey, aren't you Trevor Noah? A comedian, right? I was like, yeah, why? He's like, oh no, because I totally got you, Trevor. I totally got you, Trevor. I was like, wait, what? Wait, you Indian? He's like, of course I'm Indian. Of course I'm Indian. All places Indian. I totally got you, huh? I said, well, I don't understand. He's like, you don't understand. I understand. You walked in. I said, look, Trevor, no one coming. Then you start talking with accent. I go, I also do accent. Then you were doing accent. Then I do accent. Then you were doing accent. You make joke. I make joke. Do you like joke? I was like, no, I don't like your joke. I don't like your joke. I thought I was about to get canceled. Do you see this shit? He's like, it was amazing. You were sweating so hard. Not from the curry, eh? That was so funny, Trevor. I was like, it was not funny. My friends were laughing at me. He's like, I know. He's like, I wasn't scared, man. Why would you do that? He's like, because, Trevor, I take great joy in the pain and suffering of others. It's called Schadenfreude. Yo, Toronto, you guys have been amazing. Thank you so much for coming out. I just got back from Atlanta. It was 107 degrees Fahrenheit. Hot as well. The worst thing is everyone comes up to me and they go, well, you must be used to this being from Africa. And no, I'm not. I'm from Africa, but that shit is hot. That was just, no. I was scared to go jogging because I thought if I ran out in the streets and fainted, wouldn't the local news love that? I'd be running and I'd fall down in the heat. They would have their vans reporting live. They'd be standing there going, so hot in Atlanta, even Africans are fainting. So I'm enjoying this. Really happy to be here, you know. This is going to be good for us, I hope. I say I hope because I never know with stand-up comedy. It's just, you know, it's an awkward experience, I find. I'm always nervous. I find comedy is very similar to sex for me. Well, it's exactly like sex when you think about it. With me, the comedian, playing the role of the man, and you, the audience, the role of the woman. Because it's my job to satisfy you. And you just have to sit there. And then, just like sex, my success or failure will somehow be determined by how much noise you make during my performance. Which makes it a one-sided affair, I feel, you know? I mean, maybe you're the quiet type. I hope we have magic tonight. I hope we create something wonderful. I mean, for many of us, it's our first time together, and that means it might be awkward. I understand this. And if that's the case, I want you to know that I'll look into your eyes, I'll see that I'm freaking you out, and I'll stop. I'll stop, and I'll flip you back over, and we'll go back to the simple stuff. Okay? I've been in America for a few months now, and I'm really just thrown by the place. It's not what I expected at all. Different from the brochures and the pamphlets. There's many assumptions I had about America before I came here, and I've come to learn that those were wrong. For one, I just assumed people spoke English here. It's far from it. It's not, you know what, it's not so much the language, so much as the pronunciation of words that throws me off. It's just what Americans have done with the language. You guys have just... Wow, you've done something. You've put 22s on the English language. You've got rims that says, pimp my language. That's what you've gone with, you know? I don't understand. I was chatting to this woman downtown the other day. She came up to me and she wanted me to see something. I don't know what, though. She was like, oh my God, look over there. I said, look over what? She's like, over there. Look at that her. And I said, her? She's like, no, her. Look, there's two of them? I understand nothing, even the small words, just the pronunciation, you know, small things that get you by. For instance, I pronounce the opposites of uncle as aunt. I say my aunt. Out here you say my aunt, which to me is an insect, which made me look like an ass when my friend told me his aunt died. And I was like, so what? There's tons of those out there. What a great way to end a friendship. I couldn't get help the other day when searching for a battery for my remote control. Because that's what I say, battery, a small form of power. Yes, in America, you say battery, which to me is a different form of power. Sponsored by Chris Brown. And you know what, I understand. We live on different sides of the globe, so it's fine. The language will evolve. This is something I've come to understand. But I hope I change one thing in your hearts forever. Just one thing. And that is that animal in the wild that looks like a horse. It has black and white stripes. Yeah, do me a favor. From now on, please, it's not zebra, okay? It's zebra. Yeah? Just like it's not Debra, it's Deborah. Same structure of word. Plus, you cannot name them because you do not have them. Zebra. This is madness. Everything out here is different. Do you know how hard it is to learn when you come out here? You have to change everything. There's the measurement system, which is just, America, you guys have your own thing, the imperial system, you know? On my side of the world, we use the metric system, and by my side, I mean the rest of the world, you know? We have the metric system, which is, amongst other things, very efficient. It's a very simple process. You know, everything goes into each other. And out here you have imperial, which is fine. I won't judge you. If you want to be imaginary, that's up to you. But I just feel like there's some consistency that's needed. Small things. Like, for instance, when we abbreviate our small measurement, milligrams, we use mg, milligrams. Mg, milligrams. And you guys have ounces, which you then abbreviate OZ. There's no Z in the word, ounces. I don't know. That's pale in comparison to what you've done with pounds. That for me, please explain to me how the abbreviation for pounds became LBS. Pounds. I look like the idiot walking into the store going, could I please have the 2 labs bag of sugar? Guy was like, you mean pounds? I said, I don't see the P. No, I don't. He said, well, it means pounds. It's not LBS. A lot of bullshit. That's what it stands for. This is horrible. In fact, it's crazy. You do realize the imperial system is so inefficient that even American drug dealers have switched over to metric. Even drug dealers got to the point where they said, we need some order, we're going with metric. And I honestly thought this was an anomaly. I thought, you know what, this is just one of those things, it's a coincidence, but it's not. Americans do not care about abbreviation nor the English language. They don't give a damn. I learned this in the small things. Like for instance, when I was in Tennessee, I stumbled on an organization known as the Ku Klux Klan. You heard of them? Worst magic show ever. Guy gave me a pamphlet. He was like, come and see the Grand Wizard. Grand Wizard! The Grand Wizard! Didn't do one trick! Not even one trick. I noticed a few black people disappear, but that's not magic. No, that's just Reaganomics. I wasn't impressed by that. Like, where's the magic? I sat there forever. These guys running around in their sheets. Yeah! The KKK, as they're affectionately known. Has nobody bothered to tell them ever that you do not spell clan with a K? Nobody stopped. Even in America, clan is spelt with a C. The Ku Klux Klan, they're the KKC, not the KKK. You realize that? Ku Klux Klan. The C. In fact, the name is wrong. The whole thing, the Ku Klux parts of it. That's just horrible because they got that, as you know, from ancient Greece. It was Kuklos Alphion, meaning a circle of brothers. And that's how they got their name. They called themselves a Greek circle of brothers, which is wrong for 2 reasons. One, if your sole purpose as an organization is to hate black people, don't you find it strange that you've now named yourself the Circle of Brothers? And secondly, do they realize that in ancient Greece, circles of brothers were doing very different things with one another? Very loving, very, yeah. If they were really a Greek circle, the sheets would be a bit higher up, just more. because I'd never been to a place where there were no black people before. It actually made me realize that there'd been an issue that I'd been grappling with for so long. And now finally I had another answer. And that issue was that of James Bond. I'm a big fan of 007, License to Kill. Loved it my whole life. Started with Pierce Brosnan, then went back and watched Connerys and Lazenbys and everyone, all the way through to Daniel Craig. And I love James Bond. And when I found out that Daniel Craig no longer wanted to be James Bond, I was heartbroken. Until I heard that at the top of the list, the potential replacement was a man by the name Idris Elba. And I lost my mind. You can hear the ladies, I mean, like, yeah, you know, yeah. And that's what James Bond needs. A ladies' man and a man's man, and Idris has that. You know, he's strong, he's charming, you know, he's got that quiet thing, oh yeah, you know, Idris Elba, oh yeah. You know, Idris Elba, you know, oh yeah. You could just see him playing the dapper spot. And as soon as it was announced, everyone is excited. Everyone was excited until the comment section of the internet came in. Idris Elba, James Bond. And the comment section was like, actually, Idris Elba could not play James Bond. And we were like, why? They're like, because... Because of the shape of his head? What do you say? What do you say? No, because... Because what? Because he's black! James Bond cannot be played by a black man! And as soon as they said that, the internet exploded. Racism! And immediately that happened. I jumped in. I don't even know what it's about half of the time. I just jump in. You just hear racism and I rep my side. I'm just like, racism, racism! Ah, you guys will explain it later. Racism! And I was in there and I was like, what the hell's going on? They were like, James Bond cannot be played by Idris Elba because Idris Elba is a black man and James Bond is white. I was like, well, actually, James Bond is a fictional character and so we can be played by anyone because it is fiction. And they were like, well, when you think about it, James Bond was based on a real man who was white and so he should be played by a real white man. And I was like, well, that just doesn't make sense because if you think about it, Jesus was technically a black man, but he gets played by a white man. So I don't know what your point is, because that's never stopped me from receiving my blessings. I don't know what you're going on about. And they were like, you can't have it. I was like, racism, you can't have it, racism, you can't have it, racism! And then I went to Scotland. I realized that maybe, just maybe, I hadn't given the argument enough thought. Because I love Idris Elba. I want him to play Bond. But if you think about it, James Bond often operates in places like Scotland and the UK and Europe. Because that's where most supervillains choose to reside. I'm assuming it's for tax purposes. No matter how you feel about the issue, you have to admit it would be particularly difficult to be a spy when you are the only black person in town. Your very existence defies your purpose. I'm not saying it's impossible, I'm just saying that would be the toughest James Bond movie that was ever made. Can you imagine that scene? Idris Elba, James Bond, planting the C4, blowing up the bad guy's leg, jumping on a bike, riding into the town square in Edinburgh. The bad guy's right behind him. They pull out their guns and start shooting. The chase is on. Get it, get it, get it. Ding 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 ding. Idris Elba, James Bond, jumps off the bike, runs into a crowded town square. The bad guys are right behind him. He manages to shake them off, pops into a little alley, gets out on the other side, finds a crowded little marketplace, puts a scarf around his head, a fake beard, blends in with a group of monks walking by. The bad guys turn the corner. There it is! James Bond manages to shake them off, gets into another group of areas, pops out on the other side, finds a transportation hub, gets into a bus, the bus goes one way, gets into a tram, the tram goes the other way, the bad guys turn the corner. There it is! The movie will be 10 minutes long.
It would end with James Bond panting in an alley. How did you find me? We would lose so many epic scenes. Like that moment where James reveals his name. You know that scene in the casino we always wait for? Him dressed in the tux, playing a high-stakes game of baccarat. You see Idris Elba walking over to the bartender now to place that iconic order. Bartender, I'll take my martini shaken, not stirred. The name's
James Bond? I know.
I'm sorry, mate, have we met?
No. I just heard there was a spy in town. Figured it was you.
What gave me away? Is it the way I dress?
Oh, there's just something about you.
Something like what?
You know. It's crazy. I'm loving it. Living the American life, trying to do it. It's crazy. You know, so I had to learn how to drive out here, which was fun. To get a car, obviously, which I just almost couldn't get. You have to fill out forms, and then they want your credits. And in America, credits is very important. I don't understand the concept. I'm in the car dealership, and there's this Asian gentleman helping me. We're going through the forms, and he says, "So how long have you lived in America for?" I said, "I haven't lived here for long." He said, "Oh, this not good for you. This not good for you." I said, "What do you mean?" He says, "No, you cannot lease car in America unless you've been here a long time, because then you don't have credit, okay? You don't." I said, "Well, I've got the money to pay for it." He said, "Yeah, that's not the point, okay? That's not the point. In America, okay, in this country, we want credit, okay? Our country focus on credit. If you got good credit, you can buy anything. We don't care about money. We want credit." I said, "Well, credit is the assumption that you can pay back the money." He's like, no, that don't count here, okay? In our country, you have good credit, you can buy anything, okay? You got good credit. And he's like, our country. And I was like, look, I hate to be rude, but when you say our country, do you mean our because you live here now, or our because the Chinese own it? And he was like, it's a bit of both, okay? Yeah, but no credit for you, no car. Okay, goodbye. I had to just buy myself a car, you know, this horrible thing, drive around. And that's the worst thing, driving in America, wow. On the other side of the road, you feel like a rebel, you know, until you see the other cars coming, and then it's not so much fun. You know how many times I did that just going to the wrong side? And don't trust movies. It's not easy to do that whole thing. No, people don't just drive and no, they stop. They just look at you and go, "What are you doing?" In the movies, you drive past. "What are you doing?" Aren't you supposed to know? They don't drive. They just wait for you to turn around. And the street is so small. You're doing one of those turns, just watching them in your shame, just like it's horrible. I had to practice for months. It was the worst. I remember I drove into a street once. I thought I'd learned. It had been months. I'd been doing it well. And then I turned into the wrong way. And I saw this little old Asian lady driving towards me. And I was like, no! And there was nobody else. So I swerved the car around. I was like, whoa! I was like, yeah! Hero! And I drove, and there were 50 cars coming this way. And I was like, you bitch! And I told my friend the story. I told him this. I was like, "Oh, this is what happened." And he was like, "Oh, that's so funny, man. That's so funny." And he's like, "Who was driving the car?" I said, "A little old Asian lady." And he's like, "Oh, yeah, you can't say that, man. You can't say that." I said, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Yeah, you can't say she's Asian." I said, "Why not?" He's like, "Yeah, because that's racist." I said, "What, that she's Asian?" He's like, nah, if she's a bad driver and you say she's Asian, that's racist. I said, "So let me get this straight. Asians are not allowed to be called bad drivers? Is this not racism in itself? Everyone else is allowed the world of bad drivers. But if I'm driving on the freeway behind an Asian person and they're swerving around, and I go, 'This bad driver, you drive like crap.' And I pull up next to them, I'm like, 'Oh, no, sorry. You're not a bad driver. You're just Asian. I'm sorry.'" Racism in itself? It's madness. So now what I had to do was get around using a GPS, you know, Decided to get one of those. First, I tried to be a cheapskate. I thought, oh, get a phone with a GPS. That was a horrible mistake. Bought myself one of those iPhones with Siri. Oh, your assistant, she talks to you. She listens to you. If you're American, she doesn't understand one word I say. I don't understand why. I speak English, and they're talking to her. Doom, doom. She's like, what do you need? I'm like, Siri, please call Peter. You want pizza? No, cancel. Siri, I need pizza. You want pizza? No, Siri, I want pizza, not pizza. You want pizza? No, Siri, what's going on here? You want to, Siri, you're not making sense. Siri, are you having an attitude with me? You tell me. I don't know what the hell is going on here. Siri, just listen to me. I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? Siri, just, bitch. Dialing mom. What the hell? This is horrible. I had to buckle down and buy myself a real GPS to get me around, which has been working like a charm. If you don't have a GPS, you get yourself one. It's the best thing you'll ever do. Just don't make the mistake I made and buy it from Craigslist. I bought one off Craigslist, and the guy who sold it to me didn't tell me that it was a Spanish language GPS, which was not so good. I didn't understand anything she says. Look, I still get around because the arrows are in English, thank God. But otherwise, it was just horrible. And I hated it the first few days. And then I fell in love with her. She's just, I don't understand why more Americans don't speak Spanish. It's such a sexy language. I'm sitting there and like all the men in here, you want to feel like a man. You get yourself a Spanish GPS. Oh no, you don't understand. Traffic never sounded sexier. It's just like, I just punch in random destinations and she guides me around. She's like, dum dum. Sigue toco de que para conocí. En 200 metros sería la de la cha. And I'm just like, oh shucks, Tom Tom. You say that all the time. This is sexy, She just guides me around. It's beautiful. I love that. I'm going to learn Spanish because of that. Spanish has gone up my list. I had a few languages in Spanish. Spanish was like 6th language. I spoke 4 languages in South Africa. And then the 5th language was going to be Japanese. And then Spanish but now Spanish has gone up. Japanese I've had to pause because of the earthquake. There's not that many of them traveling now. So it's sad. There's no one now. There's like walk around the streets, just, But Spanish has gone up. Because I was getting good at Japanese, don't get me wrong. I was getting really good. I could say, and it's a great language. It's powerful. Because you speak Japanese from your chest, it makes you feel strong. Hey there. Yeah, very strong. Whereas English you speak from the head and the chest. Do you know what I mean? You speak it head and chest. You wouldn't know this. You wouldn't know this if you listen to many coastal girls in America. Like I've been in places like California where women insist on speaking English from their nose, which is not the correct. Yeah, like, oh my God, are you guys gonna like do this? And I was like there with Tiffany and we were talking, and that's not the right way. You're not using your lungs. I know this because when I choked her, she sounded exactly the same. Jesus. Was there and she's like, oh my God, you're like totally choking me right now and I can't breathe and this is so not on. I am so gonna tweet about this. This is like the worst thing ever. Oh, I am so dying. OMG. It's horrible. Whereas Japanese is strong. Japanese you speak from the chest, A lot of the Americans are learning Chinese, I've seen. Chinese, I see people say, you gotta learn Chinese. They're taking over. Chinese. Ni hao ma. Shi shi ni. Chinese. It's too late. It's too late to learn Chinese. It's over. No, it's true. It's true because it's also one of the hardest languages in the world. I mean, how do you learn Chinese now? Just they've got over 10,000 characters in the alphabet. You know this? 10,000 characters. We've got 26 in English, and there's still people going, "What comes after Q?" 26. This is 10,000 they've got. That's super smart. Although they must have the worst Sesame Street in the world. It must suck being a Muppet in that country. I can just see them on a Monday morning singing to the kids. 5 years later, 从早先。